The angry French have been pushed out of Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali as they failed to curb the security issues in these countries. However, jihadist attacks have increased since tension between these countries and France wore out. Many in these countries believe that the French introduced the terrorists there to destabilize the country so that they could continue exploiting their minerals and natural resources. The Minister of Defense in Niger, General Salifou, who was appointed by the military regime, recently announced that an anti-jihadist unit on a peace mission in Kandandjiwas was severely attacked by terrorists. 7 soldiers were taken out in the attack, and 5 others were involved in a serious accident during an intervention in response to the attack. The minister said they were doing investigations to track down these terrorists. In mid-August, at least 17 Nigerian soldiers were killed and 20 wounded in an attack by suspected jihadists near the border between Niger and Burkina Faso. The attack was the deadliest since the coup. Is all this happening because French troops are no longer in these countries? Does Niger need more soldiers and help from Russia? These are some of the questions that are on the lips of Africans. All this is happening at a time when the country is seeking new military partners. Niger is currently in mourning following the deaths of 29 soldiers in a terrorist attack on Tuesday, October 3, 2023, at a time when the military regime decided to consider an offer of mediation from Algeria for a political solution to the issues. Mali too has not been free from all this jihadist war going on. They are also under attack. The Malian army recently reported attacks on 3 of its bases in the country's north, west, and center, with separatists and jihadists from al-Qaeda-affiliated group claiming temporary control of 2 of them. The group claims to have taken out numerous soldiers and captured 1. It also claims to have taken control of the post and set it on fire, seizing 6 vehicles and a large quantity of arms and ammunition. Attacks in northern Mali have more than doubled since UN forces concluded the first part of their withdrawal last month, following a decade of fighting armed groups that have resulted in more than 150 deaths. Fighters have extended their hold over rural areas around the better defended towns in northern Mali, aiming to increase pressure on the central government. At the same time, a 2015 peace agreement with ethnic Tuareg rebels looks to have fallen through, exacerbating the security issue. If the current scenario in Timbuktu persists, the UN has warned of a humanitarian crisis. More than 33,000 people have fled the Timbuktu and Tawadini districts of northern Mali, heading towards Mauritania and Algeria to escape the violence, according to the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. The renewed military activity by the Tuareg-dominated separatists coincides with the ongoing withdrawal of the UN stabilization mission MINUSMA, which is being pushed out by the military government after 10 years of deployment. According to a recent UN assessment, armed groups nearly increased their area in less than a year. Fighters targeted a triple-decker passenger boat in one audacious attack, taking out 49 passengers. There was also a plane crash in Mali on September 23, 2023, that took the life of Lieutenant Colonel Moussa Traoré. A video describing the disaster has been circulating widely on social networks since Wednesday. It shows an aircraft in the process of landing, failing to stop at the end of the runway and crashing into a cloud of flames and smoke. Various officials have said that the aircraft belonged to the Malian army and was carrying members of Wagner. The junta has denied cooperation with Wagner. Burkina Faso is also battling an insurgency that spread from neighboring Mali over the past decade, linked to the al-Qaeda and ISIS terrorist groups. Around 20 people were taken out in a suspected terror attack in Burkina Faso in August 2023. Captain Ibrahim Traoré seized power in Burkina Faso in a September 2022 coup that ousted Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba, who in January that year had toppled the country's last elected president, Roch-Marc Christian Kabore. More than 16,000 civilians, troops, and police have died in terror attacks, according to an NGO count, including more than 5,000 since the start of this year. More than 2 million people have also been displaced within their country, making it one of the worst internal displacement crises in Africa. All this is happening because the citizens worry about their safety and are fleeing to places where the attacks are not frequent. Some people are now saying the French military had been providing a little bit of assistance in the country, and since they withdrew, it has left a gap that the terrorists can exploit. However, due to a lack of personnel and equipment, Burkina Faso's junta has increasingly relied on volunteer defense forces for assistance. These armed civilians, who assist police in the rural north, are frequently caught up in violent assaults, such as the April raid that took out 34 people. The junta has also looked to Russia to fill the void left by France's exit. A Russian delegation held talks with Burkina Faso's interim president Ibrahim Traoré at a meeting that included discussions on possible military cooperation. At this point, we can't deny that the withdrawal of French troops in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso is having a significant impact on the fight against terrorism in the region. These countries are struggling to cope with the increased threat of terrorism. They are under-resourced and cannot effectively combat terrorist groups. The international community needs to do more to help these countries fight terrorism and address the root causes of the problem. Not necessarily going back to France, but forming more allies with countries like Russia and China. These countries can help them financially, strengthen their security forces, and improve their ability to fight terrorism. What is your take on this topic? Do you think these attacks are as a result of the French troops that were pushed out? Let us hear what you have to say in the comments. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the New Tourist channel, so we keep bringing you the latest news on what is going on in these countries. Turn on notifications too so you never miss when we upload a video. Thanks for watching and see you in our next video.